Hey, it's AK Option Trader back at you again here with another fun-filled video for a fun-filled, exciting week coming up. A short week, a Thanksgiving week. Before I get started, I want to tell you I am trying a new video. I'm using Camtasia now to record. I'm just going to try it for the 30-day trial period to see if we like it or not. If you got any comments or concerns about it, let me know. I've been using Cam Studio over the last year, so just going to give it a shot. See if I like it, see if it's easier to edit or not. Let's get started. Like I said, we got a short week here. We got the Thanksgiving week, obviously. I imagine volume's going to be pretty peaked after Monday or Tuesday. Just came off of options expiration on Friday. So I'd be looking for a low volume, probably an up day on Friday, probably, who knows, on Wednesday. I think it's been trending down lately. And then Monday, not this Monday, but a week from Monday, I'd be expecting a down day there. So, but let's look at the chart, see what we got going on here. So we look at the VIX, and this thing here, I thought this was a bad tick for a while, but I've looked at it, and it looks to me like it's come all the way down here to this pattern we've got here. In fact, if we move this a little bit, make it a little bit tighter, right into there. It gets even a little bit farther away, but still, this broadening pattern here, this megaphone type pattern formation we got, which broke out above it here but couldn't maintain it. It looks like it came down getting ready to test this and moved right back up. So we could call this a test of this, and this might be what we needed to bounce off of here. I thought maybe it would break down eventually and hit this, but we might be forming our higher low right here off of this new support at 2162. So let's keep an eye on it. Watch for this breakout above this trend line here too. Alright, so that's the VIX. It just looks like it's starting to hit up a little bit for me, which could be bearish for the market. Here's the Dow. I can turn the studies off on here. And what I've been using, I've got the Bollinger Bands on here today. I got the 20 and the 50. The orange is the 50 moving average. So I'll turn those off and on once in a while so we can see. If I turn all this off, you can see it's obviously a nice trend up here. What I've been watching on the Dow, if you've been reading the blog, is you got 2 days down here, you got 4 days down here, and I think this is 9 days and this is like 11 or something like that. Every one of these down moves has come with a very similar candle at the top, preceding the down move. Alright, and then every end of the move ends with a real big ominous black candle. I remember this day. It was a great day. So keep an eye on that and watch for this candle. Then we'll know we're near the bottom probably, and I'm getting ready for another up move if it does occur, if this truly is not the top. All right, so, and if you see my drawings here, I would imagine we're going to hit right around in this area down here, 9,900 or so. It just seems logical to me. However, to get down there, I mean, that's from 10.3 to 9,900, we're looking at, 400 points, 500 points at the max. So we might even go, to get there in 11, 13, 14 days, those would have to be pretty small moves or pretty volatile. We'd have to move down a bit, move back up, move down, move down. So I'm going to be interested to see how that pans out. We might have something like this, have a couple of these great big white candles right in that down move. To bring things back up and bring them back down again. So keep an eye on that. I'll talk about it as things go on, as things progress, so we can see how it's working out. Okay. Next we got the S&P. The S&P has topped real nice. A couple hanging man on top we've been watching. Real nice reversal. And if you look closely here, you can see you got this little up move down up here. What if we see a little bump up here? What do we got? Another little baby Head and Shoulders. I know we're sick of the Head and Shoulders. But if we do, we'll watch that, and you're going to see right in this area at 1084, somewhere in there would be a good break of that. Like I said, I don't think I would be shocked on tomorrow or Monday to see this pop up a bit. It seems pretty normal. After a couple days down, we have a pretty decent down move here. Here's 3 days down, and we have an up move. So it wouldn't shock me to see us pop up, have a decent up day in the midst of this downswing right here. Okay, probably eventually going to retest this trend line here. This is the one I'd be watching for. So wherever we end up retesting this trend line, however many days it takes, that's what I would be looking for on the S&P. Okay, so it's a nice easy uptrend. The nasdaq seems to be just kind of leading it a little bit ahead, giving us a better candle signal as far as where it's going to go on there. So now I've got the Bollinger Bands back on. You can see it's just bouncing off these bottom Bollinger Bands and this trend line. So it hits the Bollinger Band, heads up, gets near the Bollinger Band, hits our trend line, heads up, near the Bollinger Band, this is near the 50, heads up, broke through the 20, broke through the 50, Bollinger Band area. It didn't head right up, but we got this bullish engulfing, and that sent us right up through the roof here. Near the top Bollinger Band, heading back down. Look at the 20 starting to cross over the 50. All right. Sorry about that. It's my phone. 20 starting to cross over the 50. Kind of had a nice doji sitting there on yesterday, or pardon me, on Friday. Got a doji sitting there Friday, heading on the way down. So probably gonna stall up. Wouldn't be surprised to see this pop up a little bit on Monday. Okay, especially coming into Thanksgiving, everybody gets all excited. Gonna eat a little turkey. Gonna have a little good times. So those are really good. And then we're gonna go into the UUP. UUP is very interesting to me right now. The UUP, we've got a very nice, what I would call a diamond, a really ugly, but a diamond pattern. If you look at this, you've got a diamond pattern formation forming here. It usually signifies a bottom forming. So watch for a breakout on this. It should signify a bottom. Watch for a breakout. Now, when I read everything I read fundamentally, I think the dollar's probably going to drop some more. Technically, when I look at the charts here, it looks to me like it wants to break out. And maybe we're going to have a short-term breakout to the upside. Okay, that could be what we have. But I think eventually we might end up taking out these lows. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's something I'll be watching for just from everything I'm reading. And if you look at the Euro US dollar here, something I pull up on the blog every once in a while, you know, we got this nice trend line that seems to be holding. We did breach it, but we rallied back up off the 50 off of that. So, but it's getting tested. Okay, this bottom trend line is getting tested. This top trend line seems to be holding. So we got a wedge formation forming here. So we could see a breakout, and we're probably going to see a breakdown to the downside on this. So that's something we'll be watching for during all these moves. So now let's look at some regular old charts, which I like to play. Here's AGN. I'm going to pull AGN up. I think it guided lower. It looks almost like a bearish engulfing holding on this 20, but it's retesting the 20 after dropping beneath this support here. Pretty good drop gap beneath it. Looks like it came up, retested a little bit. I'll be looking for this thing to drop and retest down here. So a pretty good move, you know, $2-3 move to the downside. Possible short, so somebody could play that. I might be one of them. I don't play all these. I've said it before time and time again. These are, I'm waiting for setups. I pick the best one on certain days that I try to go with the market instead of against it. Wet seal, guided lower, came out, gave lower guidance, gap down, had a nice doji formation here on this gap down, but it found support. So I'm going to be watching this support line, 302. I'm going to be actually expecting a bounce off this. I'll be surprised if it breaks it. If it does break it, whew, we're probably looking at a pretty significant drop. So I'll be looking for this to hold and maybe playing a bounce up to fill this gap up to 330. Nice 30-cent move, but you can buy a lot of it because it's so cheap. That's always a good thing. WSM, again, a retest of the top, maybe making a double top here. Very indecisive day on Friday. Top Bollinger Band, hanging man near the top. I'd be looking for this thing to come back down. 20 average is still beneath the 50. Be looking for this to come down and test the bottom of this widening Bollinger Band. You can see them opening up here. Usually signifies a good down move or a move coming nonetheless. So that's what I'd be watching for. Same thing, I think, at lower guidance. PLL, this just broke a nice trend line. Pretty decent trend right here. Broke first time it's closed beneath it. It's breached it several times, so it's weakening, but the first time it's closed beneath it. If this holds, I'll be watching for this hold. I think we're going to get a nice down play, possibly down to the 29 area or something like that. So even farther, maybe all the way down to the 200 moving average. So that would be one to watch, or one worth watching. PLCE ticker symbol. Nice trend line. Again, just watch for the breach of this. If this holds on Monday, I'll be looking to play this to the upside. Okay, you can see this wedge forming right here, top. Here's the wedging up, and it looks like it wants to break out to the top side. If it breaks, I'd be cautious because it's right near the bottom gap. If it breaks here, drops more than 50 cents and closes like that, I think this thing's is poised to fall pretty good distance, maybe retest the 200 moving average. Okay, let's throw one more in there before we run out of time. So the BKE buckle, we play this one a lot. Just a nice break of what I thought would be pretty decent support here. It is like an inverted hammer or hammer type formation. It is sliding down the Bollinger Band, and it looks like it might want to pop back up. But I think if this 28, 29 holds, I think we'll be looking down in this area, 25, for our next support, because we broke the 200, the 20's crossing down. I mean, things are looking pretty bearish for this thing, like it wants to drop. So that's it. So we got a lot of econ news coming out on Wednesday. Wednesday could be a crucial day. We got personal income, personal spending, initial claims. Monday we got existing home sales, consumer confidence on Tuesday. A lot of data coming out on 3 days. So we could see some pretty significant volatility. So keep your eyes peeled, listen closely, and be ready to trade nimbly. This will be the AK Option Trader signing off. Trade well and prosper.
Going home, but to the place